What if the most dangerous criminals in our society wore suits and ties instead of masks and gloves? Welcome to the intriguing world of white-collar crime, a term coined by one of the most influential criminologists of the 20th century, Edwin Sutherland. In the early years of the 20th century, a young man from the plains of Nebraska set out on a journey that would redefine our understanding of crime. Edwin Sutherland, a sociologist by training, began his work in the 1920s, studying the behavior of professional thieves. But as his research deepened, he began to see a pattern that most of his contemporaries overlooked. In the year 1939, Sutherland presented a groundbreaking paper at the American Sociological Society. In this paper, he made a bold claim that not all criminals were from the lower rungs of society. He argued that crime permeated all strata of society, even reaching the hallowed halls of corporations and governmental institutions. 2 years later, in 1941, Sutherland took his theory a step further and coined the term white-collar crime. This term referred to crimes committed by individuals of high social status and respectability in the course of their occupation. These were not the common thieves or violent criminals that filled the pages of newspapers. Sutherland's work on white-collar crime was revolutionary. He challenged the prevailing notion that crime was a product of poverty and social disorganization. Instead, he argued that crime could also be a product of opportunity and lack of regulation in the corporate world. In the year 1949, Sutherland published his seminal work, White-Collar Crime. In this book, he expanded on his earlier theories, arguing that white-collar criminals were often able to avoid punishment due to their social status and the complexity of their crimes. Sutherland's work continues to resonate in the 21st century. His theory of white-collar crime has shaped our understanding of corruption, fraud, and corporate crime. It has influenced legislation, led to the development of regulatory agencies, and changed the way we think about crime and punishment. To summarize, Edwin Sutherland's work on white-collar crime has had a profound impact on how society understands and addresses crime. He challenged the prevailing notions of crime and criminals, bringing attention to the often overlooked crimes committed by those in positions of power. His theory of white-collar crime continues to influence policy and practice in the criminal justice system, reminding us that crime is not solely the domain of the poor or disorganized, but can also be found in the boardrooms of the most respected corporations.